Back in Chicago, the Bears have won the toss, selected to defer. Bears have won the last 5 meetings with the Vikings, including 4 straight here at Soldier Field.
I like to defer, Darryl. Start off with that defense on the field.
Well, Leslie Frazier's offense will take the field first. Leslie, member of the '85 Bears. Lovie Smith's 2012 Bears have lost 2 in a row after starting the season 7-1. Robbie Gould will get things started. Marcus Sherrill's back deep. Vikings are still without premier return man Percy Harvin. Vikings will start from their own 20-yard line. Led out onto the field by the second-year quarterback out of Florida State, Christian Ponder, who made his NFL debut last October here in Chicago.
Yeah, and Lovie Smith told us that he was a little bit more athletic than Chicago anticipated. We'll see if some of that athleticism comes out today. I think that's going to be one of Christian's biggest challenges, is kind of balancing that. When do I escape from the pocket? When do I hang in there a little bit longer and let those plays develop down the field?
Yeah, making the right choices.
Vikings 6-4, Bears 7-3. Ponder wrapped up by Henry Melton on first down. Sack number 6 for Melton on the season.
Pressure right up the middle, Henry Melton.
And this is just beat real quick and then going right to the quarterback. It's going to come from the inside.
He does a nice job right here. A little swim move. Keeps his feet moving right upfield. That's the toughest thing for a quarterback when they get pressure right in their face early in the game.
A loss of 9 on 2nd and 19. It's the NFL's leading rusher, Adrian Peterson, and he's tackled by Nick Roach.
And it's going to be up to these guys up front to get that running game going. Chicago is tough to run the football against, but these guys will determine how successful that is. This is a run-first team. Don't make any mistake about it. Adrian Peterson, just absolutely incredible. We all know the story about him coming back from that ACL. Unbelievable. But they've got to have success running the football. That will help Christian Ponder in the passing game.
Ponder on 3rd down and 18. It's complete to Jarius Wright. So Lovie Smith elects to defer. Big sack on the first play from scrimmage, and the Vikings go 3 and out. We mentioned Minnesota without Percy Harvin. Bears missing one of their top receivers as well.
Yeah, and I think that's a big loss, Alshon Jeffrey. Obviously, Percy Harvin, very, very important for that Minnesota Viking offense, so multi-dimensional.
Chris Kluwe waiting back at his 10-yard line. Bears with 2 deep men. Devin Hester along with Eric Weems. It's taken by Hester at the 23-yard line. Return of 6 out to the 29. 53-yard punt by Kluwe. So after missing the last 6 quarters, the second half against Houston and the entire game Monday night against San Francisco, Jay Cutler returns to the Chicago Bears offensive huddle.
And he's just so important for this offense. They really struggle when Jay Cutler is not in the lineup, but it is so important for this offensive line to keep him clean this afternoon. They have, and Mike Tice, the offensive coordinator, he can help that out with his play call.
Their start from the 29-yard line. It's Matt Forte who loses the football. And it is recovered by Chad Greenway of the Vikings.
Well, that's not going to help the confidence of Mike Tice, who keeping the run game going.
Here's Chad Greenway right here, your linebacker. Let's see what happens with the ball handling. It looks like it got hit. Maybe he bumped into Evan Rodriguez as he goes by on the run play. Yeah, sure, there it is. Catches it on that hip, and it comes up and loose.
So the Vikings get it right back. Now, all turnovers are reviewed upstairs. Referee Scott Green gets the word, pumps up the clock. following Matt Forte's first fumble of the season from the Chicago 28. Off the play fake, pass broken up by Lance Briggs, intended for the tight end Kyle Rudolph.
Kyle Rudolph, the tight end, trying to get him more involved in the passing game. This is what you see when you have this Tampa 2 style. You've got the two safeties back deep, and the linebacker is going to carry that tight end down the middle of the field.
Second and 10 from the 28. Here's Peterson up the middle. And Peterson gains 6 down to the 22-yard line, going up against this 5th-ranked Bears defense.
And this group really needs to have a bounce-back game. Two areas that they struggled with against San Francisco right there. The defensive front did not play well. Heard a lot about them all season long. Linebackers did not play well either. I mean, the entire group. But Major Wright and Chris Conte, those are two guys that Lovie Smith has talked a lot about this year, and they struggled both in coverage and in tackling against the Niners.
3 wide receivers set, 3rd down and 4. The slant could not be handled by Jerome Simpson. Charles Tillman on the coverage.
Oh, this is a big stand by the defense because it's that sudden change situation where all of a sudden you've got that quick turnover. Your defense is right back out on the field, not only on the field, but on a short field. And they come out and they force a field goal attempt instead of giving up 7.
Blair Walsh, the rookie out of Georgia, has missed only once all season from the right hash 40-yard attempt. Walsh's kick is good. So the Vikings score 3 following the early Bears turnover. 3-0 lead for the Minnesota Vikings. Here's Matt Forte, fumbled for the first time in 246 touches, and it set up the Walsh field goal. There's Greenway, who recovered the fumble. Vikings lead 3-0. Eric Weems, not Devin Hester, on the return for Chicago. Weems, the former Atlanta Falcon, tripped up as he crosses the 20-yard line. So for the Bears and Jay Cutler, 1 play, 1 turnover, back on the field here.
Yeah, and that happens sometimes. Sometimes you start a game with a bad play. Now you got to come back and bounce back. You know, Matt Forte, you know, as you pointed out, Kenny, his first fumble this season, but you can't shy away from this running game. The #1 objective today is to keep your quarterback clean, not let him take a lot of hits. To do that, this running game has to be an important ingredient. You cannot abandon it because of what happened on that opening play.
Now Cutler tripped up, and he's down back at the 16-yard line.
All right, 2 plays, bad plays for this offense right in a row.
Well, we've got Chris Spencer in at the left guard, the new spot. Does he step on Jay Cutler as he's coming out from under center? No, it's actually Roberto Garza, the center, who gets him.
See right there, he steps on his foot, trips him up.
Go through. Loss of 3. 2nd down at 13. Here's Forte. Wrapped up, tackled by Jasper Brinkley. Gain of 3, 3rd down and 10 upcoming.
And I would think the Vikings defense is kind of licking their chops watching that film from the San Francisco game. You know, Jared Allen, Brian Robinson on the outside. Can they take advantage of the tackles for the Chicago Bears? And this is a good defense. You don't hear a lot about them. This is a very good secondary. The Chicago Bears wide receiver is very complimentary of the Minnesota Vikings secondary. So they play very, very well together as a unit.
Cutler out of the shotgun on 3rd and long. Wrapped up and then throws. Catch is made by Forte after the pressure on Cutler from Everson Griffin. Bears forced to punt.
He's another guy that I think you better know where he is on every snap. I mean, he's a guy that shows up on film beating a lot of one-on-one situations, and those are the types of guys that benefit when you have Jared Allen on the outside. They're going to have a plan for Jared Allen. They're going to take care of him. They're going to make sure he's not an issue. That allows Everson Griffin to have a good afternoon.
Adam Podlish punting to Marcus Sherrills. who will let it bounce. And it is downed a bit too early, perhaps, by Armando Allen. Early pressure by the Vikings, who lead 3-0.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer of NFL fans. Here we go.
Three-0 lead for the Vikings, who start from their own 32-yard line. Honda hands it off to Peterson. Ball comes loose. And the Bears have recovered.
Adrian Peterson's not willing to give it up. He put it on the ground, but he feels like he went back and got it. He is not giving it up. You can see the officials pointing to Charles Tillman. He had possession.
Peterson comes out of the pile with the football, but it was initially recovered by Tillman after the strip by Roach.
That's one thing this Bears defense always does a good job of. They always attack the football. Sometimes it hurt them like last week with their tackling, but those turnovers turn into huge plays for this defense.
And as far as who recovered, that part of the play is not reviewable. So it's Cutler and the Bears from the Minnesota 34. Here is Forte, who lost a fumble earlier. Leans forward to the 29-yard line for a gain of 5.
And it's been a very poor start to this game for the Bears offense. And how many times have we seen the Bears defense make a play to get these guys back into a rhythm? What can Jay Cutler and his group do right here after that forced fumble by the Bears defense?
Bears lead the league in takeaways, now with 31. Brandon Marshall in motion. Butler looking to get the ball to Marshall. And Jared Allen had other ideas. He got a hand on it.
Jared Allen did a nice job of keeping his eyes in the backfield right on Jay Cutler.
He is so athletic. I mean, the fact that he's going to read this screen, make the deflection. If he doesn't slip, Tony, I think he's got an interception here. He slips right there as he starts to accelerate.
You can see how fast he recognized it. As soon as he came off the ball, he stopped his pass rush. He stood up. He tips the ball. And I think you're right, Dal. If he doesn't fall down, he might be in the end zone right now. 52.
Third down and 6. Cutler out of the shotgun. Cutler fires, and the catch is made by Earl Bennett. Bennett picks up a Bears first down.
Well, we talked to Mike Tice, and he said, we've got to get the ball to Brandon Marshall and Devin Hester early in this game, but the one guy I need to step up is Earl Bennett. He's coming from the top on a little drag route. Good concentration because he's coming back into the middle of the field where he knows he's going to take a hit. And then some poor tackling by the Vikings secondary.
Bennett and Cutler, teammates at Vanderbilt. And here in Chicago, Bennett gained 11. From the 19-yard line, Michael Bush. A couple of nice moves. His first carry today, and the former Raider able to gain 3 down to the Vikings' 16-yard line.
Nice little sidestep there by Bush, huh?
I think one of the good things that Chicago did in the offseason was address the backup quarterback spot and the backup running back spot. Michael Bush is a good running back, a good changeup for Matt Forte. Keep him fresh, challenge those defenses to adjust to a different running style.
He rushed for over 900 yards last year with Oakland. Second down and 7. Butler fires across the field to his tight end, Kellen Davis. And Davis is down at the 1. A 15-yard completion from Cutler to Davis.
Kellen Davis, your big tight end, he's a big body down in the red zone. This is a good adjustment because the play breaks down. Look at that throw by Jay Cutler. You've got a high-low with Jamarcus Sanford and Aaron Henderson. That is a small window to fit that ball in. That is what you missed with Jay Cutler out of the lineup against San Francisco. Those gutsy throws, I've got confidence in my arm, and I'm taking a shot.
Gabe Carimi in as an extra blocker along with 2 tight ends. As Cutler hands it off to Bush, and he is in for a Bears touchdown.
There's Gabe Carimi, number 72, coming in as that extra tight end over here, and we're just going to get everybody to that left side, lock everybody down, kick out. Here comes Lance Lewis around. Chad Greenway with a shot. Usually don't see that effort from Chad Greenway. He's a good tackler. He just threw his shoulder in there. He's got to wrap up.
Carimi had started the first 10 games at right tackle, first-round pick last year, and he's in as an extra blocker, helping Michael Bush reach the end zone for the 4th time this season. From ice to the gridiron, Bears with a short field following the Adrian Peterson fumble. Drive 34 yards. Michael Bush into the end zone, 7-3 Chicago. Line drive kickoff. And it's taken by Matt Asiata. Out to the 23-yard line. Eric Weems made the tackle. 2 early turnovers. First Forte led to a Vikings field goal. And then Peterson stripped by Nick Roach. Bears convert and score 7. We have not yet played 8 minutes in Chicago. This will be the 7th different possession of this game. There have been 7 kicking plays. 3 kickoffs, 2 punts, a field goal, and an extra point. Ponder and the Vikings start from the 22-yard line, and Charles Tillman comes up to make the tackle on Jerome Simpson, holding the Vikings to just 1 yard.
But the thing you have to worry about when you do one of these quick passes to the outside and Charles Tillman is in coverage is your receiver going to hold on to the ball. I mean, I have never seen anybody as adept at knocking a ball out as Charles Tillman.
7 forced fumbles over the first 10 games this season. On 2nd and 9, Ponder moving to his right. And 5-1, tries to check it down. Peterson, incomplete. Time for a game break. Here's Kurt Menefee, Los Angeles. Kurt?
Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won 5 of 6 and were the highest scoring team in the league during that stretch. This kid is one reason why. The rookie Doug Martin, 1-yard scoring play, 7-3. The Bucs with the lead over those 9-1 Falcons there in the first quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
All right, thanks, Kurt. 3rd down and 9 for the Vikings. Vikings must get to the 32-yard line as Ponder throws. The catch is made by Wright. And another nice tackle by Tillman, bringing down the rookie Jarius Wright a yard shy of the marker.
And not only a nice tackle by Tillman, you watch right here, but watch at the end of the play. See how he goes and rips the ball out? The ball is out. That's what Darryl talked about earlier. Charles Tillman is a beast on that corner.
There's Devin Hester. Eric Weems back deep as well. In fact, Weems is deeper than Hester. As Kluwe gets set to punt for the 2nd time. Off the side of his foot. Wow. Out of bounds. Around the 43-yard line. So terrific field position once again for Chicago.
You take a look at the Bears' first 3 possessions. You want to force them to drive the field. You don't want to give them a short field. They're very advantageous. You see that response after the fumble by Adrian Peterson. You've done it again. Chris Kluwe, a poor punt, gives Chicago excellent field position.
A punt of only 23 yards off the side of his foot. So the Bears start from their own 46-yard line. Cutler to Marshall. Brandon Marshall into Vikings territory for a gain of 8 yards.
And I'm waiting for this offense to really take that next step because of the addition of Brandon Marshall. It's an element that Chicago really has never had offensively. I mean, he is a matchup nightmare on the outside. You can see his numbers but you haven't seen the production out of this offense, and a lot of that has to do with those issues in that offensive line.
Offense ranked 30th. Cutler and Marshall had 2 tremendous years together in Denver. On 2nd and 2, it's Bush who has the Bears touchdown, and he is stopped shy of a first down, so 3rd and short coming up for Chicago. Gabe Karimi back in, along with the fullback, Evan Rodriguez.
See if Mike Tice gets a little aggressive here. You got a 3rd and short. Do you have the confidence with your group to go for it on 4th down? Maybe take a hard play action and a big shot down the field.
So with Karimi in as an extra blocker on 3rd and 1, they keep it on the ground with Bush. And Michael Bush picks up a first down. Running right behind the new starting right tackle, Jonathan Scott.
And again, not just a changeup for Michael Bush. He becomes your short yardage and goal line specialist as well. You can see the overloaded formation to the side, very similar to the play we saw on the goal line, this time going to the right side as opposed to the left.
So a new set of downs for the Bears from the Vikings 43. Again, it is Bush. Darren Allen makes the tackle. 2nd down and 9.
Chad Greenway had an opportunity to make a tackle on the backfield, but he ran right by him.
Couple of turnovers early. Forte coughed it up. Then Adrian Peterson leading to the Bears touchdown. 2nd down and 9 for Chicago. Bennett in motion. From the Vikings 42. Cutler to the outside to Marshall. And Marshall breaks a couple of tackles. Terrific second effort. Finally forced out of bounds by Aaron Henderson. It will be marked just shy of the marker.
And not just a matchup problem for Brandon Marshall on the outside, but also after the catch. There's Antoine Winfield, 26, one of the best tackling corners throughout his career. And Brandon Marshall is big enough and strong enough to get away from him. Look at the stiff arm on A.J. Jefferson. Might want to get that ball tucked away a little better, but...
Another 3rd and short. Karimi back in. And Michael Bush is close. It will depend on the spot. Some extracurricular activity. Eric Weems shoved to the ground, and a penalty marker has been thrown.
This may be a big mistake by the Minnesota Vikings here, because by the spot, this is going to be a tough call.
Unnecessary roughness, number 24 defense. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And then Weems celebrates with Marshall after the flag was thrown on the right corner for Leslie Frazier's Vikings, A.J. Jefferson.
It's an emotional game, but you've got to be able to keep those emotions under control. And Eric Weems was getting after it, played to the whistle, maybe a little bit beyond the whistle, but you can't give up that 15-yard penalty. You've got to be able to maintain your composure.
So an automatic first down for the Bears.
26.
Inside the red zone for the 2nd time from the Vikings 18-yard line. With Forte in the backfield. Cutler looking to throw, and now he takes off. Cutler is shoved out by Jefferson, and a late flag.
A little stiff arm by Jay Cutler towards the end of the game, end of the play.
I think the one thing you never have to question is Jay Cutler's toughness.
No.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 6 of the offense, taunting, throwing the ball at another player.
So Cutler is called for taunting.
Quarterback should never get that penalty. That shouldn't be allowed.
Well, I mean, it's part of his game, Tony. I mean, here's a guy coming back from a concussion. He can slide right here, but he's not gonna. He's gonna stay up. Then he gives A.J. Jefferson a little pie face and flips him the ball.
The ball. Okay.
So Jefferson called for the personal foul the previous play. Now Cutler flips the ball his way, and Cutler is flagged.
Again, maintain your emotions. It's a divisional game. Emotions run high, but you've got to be able to keep your composure.
From the 28-yard line on 2nd down and 20, Forte works his way down to the 23 for a gain of 5. Under 2 minutes remaining, first quarter. Bears with a 7-3 lead, facing a 3rd down and 14.
We've got a couple of guys, if you're Minnesota, that you have to be aware of right here, and that's Brandon Marshall and maybe Kellen Davis. And this has been an issue during the course of the year, getting the play in from the sideline in a timely fashion. You can see Jay Cutler getting a little bit frustrated there. They've struggled with that throughout the year. And you can see again, Jay's that's going to bother a quarterback. You know, you want to get that play in because you want to be able to get up to the line of scrimmage and get an idea of what Minnesota's defense is doing. And when you're pressed to the last few seconds, it disrupts everything. It disrupts your rhythm, and that's one of the areas that Chicago says we've struggled in over the last couple of games, is getting that rhythm established.
So the Bears forced to burn their first time out. Well, college football's biggest championship games return to Fox Friday. It's the Pac-12 championship live in prime time. 17th ranked UCLA takes on number 8 Stanford. Then on Saturday, it's the Big Ten championship. Number 14 Nebraska as they battle Wisconsin. The Pac-12 and Big Ten championships only on Fox. Some huge games yesterday with big implications. There's Mike Tice, the former tight end and head coach of the Minnesota Vikings. First year as the Bears offensive coordinator. Bears did not get the last play call in time, forced to use a timeout. And now Cutler connects with Marshall. Marshall stays on his feet and then is thrown back by Harrison Smith. So positive yardage turns into a negative play, and now Chicago will send out Robbie Gould in the field goal unit. Marshall winds up losing 7.
He's working the outside. He's on that inside route. Should have planted there and maybe stayed out to the right that way.
So he was as deep as the 18-yard line and then was forced all the way back to the 29. So here's Robbie Gould, 47-yard attempt from the left hash. Adam Potlish placed it down, and Gould's kick is straight through. So with a half minute remaining in the first quarter, the Bears extend their lead to 7. Adrian Peterson with a key fumble earlier, but over the first 10 games, what a remarkable comeback it has been.
It's unbelievable. You look at where this December 24th, you tear the ACL and the MCL. This is a 6 to 9 month recovery. There he is, January 1st, celebrating the new year in the operating room, and now here he comes. The work ethic, the commitment that this guy has. He set the goal to be there in Jacksonville week 1. He didn't want to miss the opening day of the game, and since that time, he has gotten better and better each week. He's putting up career numbers, and head coach Leslie Frazier even came out and said, you know what, he may be better now. And you're like, well, Adrian Peterson was one of the best running backs in the NFL. How can you say he's better now? You know, Coach Frazier really feels that he's more patient. He lets the blocks develop in front of him a little bit more. He's not having those negative runs. He's become a better pass protector and receiver.
What a comeback story. Marcus Sherrill's on the return for the Vikings. Sherrill's out across the 30 and finally brought down by Armando Allen after a return of 36 yards. And the renowned surgeon, Dr. James Andrews, after he operated on Adrian Peterson, said the inside of his knee looked like that of a newborn baby.
You know, it's not just how fast he came back, Darryl. It's also his confidence. We saw him run third game of the season, how he was planting on that leg. I mean, that's the biggest thing on a recovery, is getting that confidence back. It seems like day one he had that confidence in that leg, being able to plant it and make his cuts.
Peterson gains 5 on first down as time winds down in this first quarter. Vikings still looking for their first down of this game, and they will lean heavily on the NFL's leading rusher over the first 11 weeks of the season, Adrian Peterson. So 1 quarter in the books from Soldier Field. Bears with a 10-3 lead. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages. We start the second quarter in Chicago. Second down and 5 for the Vikings, who trail by 7. Off the play fake to Peterson. Ponder's pass is caught by Darius Wright. Close to midfield. Just shy of a first down.
Well, you mentioned some changes in the return game, Kenny, and there's your answer why. Devin Hester heading into the locker room. So we've seen Eric Weems back on kickoff. And then also that last punt, as you pointed out, Devin Hester, the short back. Eric Weems, the deep man on punt. So Devin Hester heading into the locker room.
Hester's had some big returns against Minnesota throughout his career. Ponder complete to the tight end Rudolph for a first down and more. He is finally knocked out of bounds by Chris Conti. Kyle Rudolph, the Vikings' second leading receiver this season, picks up 25 yards.
Well, I really like this play call. You've got Adrian Peterson. We've talked about him and how important he is in the running game. You run that play action. Look at Kyle Rudolph pop open on the outside. Now watch Rhett Ellison, number 40, the end of this run. He's downfield. Actually gets 2 blocks for Kyle Rudolph.
So the Vikings on their 5th possession today finally pick up a first down. And now it's Peterson. Peterson dives ahead to the 24-yard line. Kelvin Hayden in for Charles Tillman. Made the tackle after Peterson picks up 8.
No, Peterson's the guy you got to get going here, Darryl. You got to give him the ball. He's got to go and lead this offense down the field.
Yeah, and there's Charles Tillman on the side, Goose. When Kyle Rudolph sold that play fake, the Bear player that went down was Charles Tillman, so he's over getting his ankle retaped.
2 tight ends split wide. Second down and 2 for Minnesota. Ponder hits Peterson out of the backfield. And Adrian Peterson picks up another Vikings first down as we head to Los Angeles for a game break with Kurt.
Well, the Falcons and Bucks have gone back and forth so far in the early going. Here it is, Jacquizz Rodgers. Officially a 5-yard score, and the Falcons are back on top. 10-3 early on in the second quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Atlanta at 9-1 suffered their only loss 2 weeks ago to New Orleans. They'll face the Saints again this Thursday. On first down, it's Peterson. Peterson tripped up.
You know, keeping an eye on Adrian Peterson on that last play. 2 plays ago, sort of got a little helmet to helmet. See it right here. Might have jarred his neck or did something, because when he was walking back to the huddle, he was shaking his head a little bit, but he looked pretty good on that last run,
Helmet to the shoulder of Kelvin Hayden.
Guy they can't afford to lose right there, especially with Percy Harvin.
Second down and 4. Ponder moving to his left. And then he flips it away.
A smart play. I mean, you're going to lose yardage on this play. Kyle Rudolph goes in motion. Got to be able to take advantage of the play action. Chicago does a good job getting everybody covered, but right here, you're going to run out of bounds and lose yardage.
We're now 3rd down and 6 for the Vikings. Ponder to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Intended for Rudolph. The 2 safeties, Major Wright and Chris Conti on the coverage for Chicago.
It's going to be a jump ball situation. There's Kyle Rudolph at the tight end spot, getting bumped as he goes out. But what you're looking for here is the ability for him to go up in traffic and make that catch at the highest point. Chris Conti comes over, gets a hand on that ball.
So here's Blair Walsh, hit from 40 yards out earlier. There's a 30-yard attempt, and it was blocked. Only the second miss for the rookie Walsh this season. Julius Peppers got a piece of it. How big is this game? Well, the Bears and Packers are tied atop the NFC North. Vikings just one game back, and Blair Walsh just had a field goal blocked by Julius Peppers, so the Bears maintain their 7-point lead. 12th block kick of Peppers' career. On first down, it's Forte. And he's tackled by Jasper Brinkley. Gain of 5.
And what I want to see for the Chicago Bears is, can they get a sustained drive? You go back and take a look at this play call through the first part of this game. 12 running plays, just netting 30 yards. So you're not at 3 yards a carry yet, but you can't abandon that. You really can't. You know, you're going to be able to allow Jay Cutler to make some plays in the passing game. But Mike Tice has to stay with it. Keep giving the ball to Matt Forte. Mix it up with Michael Bush. Let that offensive line come off the ball, like Tony said earlier.
Cutler 6 of 7, a couple of big completions on the Bears' touchdown drive in the first quarter. Cutler on second down. Throw is low. He was looking for the tight end, Kellen Davis. Greenway on the coverage, so 3rd down and 5 coming up.
Again, just keeping that play alive in the pocket. You know, Jay Cutler, he doesn't get enough credit for his ability to extend these plays. We think of quarterbacks that extend plays. Jay Cutler's not one of those guys in that conversation, but we've seen several times already today his ability to extend that play and get a shot down the field.
Marshall split wide to the right, 3rd down and 5. Bears must get to the 30, inside handoff to Forte. And it looks like he picks up the first. Jasper Brinkley came up to make the tackle, but Forte running hard, able to move the chains for the Bears.
That's a nice 3rd down pickup right there, because you change the formation, you open it up, you're in shotgun. Single back shotgun runs are not easy to do. Lance Lewis right now, the right guard for the Chicago Bears. If you're going to play defense for Minnesota, key him. He is leading you to where the ball is going in the running game right now. They're pulling him almost half the time.
1st and 10 from the 31. The slant to Marshall. And Marshall's tackled by Winfield at the 26. Time for another game break. Here's Kurt.
And an update on the Steelers and Browns is Jordan Cameron in his 2nd year out of USC scores his first NFL touchdown. That was a 5-yard reception from Brandon Whedon. Both scores by the Browns have been off Pittsburgh turnovers, and they lead it 10-7. Kenny moves from Deuce.
All right, thanks, Kurt. 2nd down and 3. Eric Weems back on the field. Darryl, Bears down to just 3 wide receivers. Hester has gone to the locker room without Jeffrey. Dane Sanzenbacher is inactive, so Marshall, Bennett, and Weems, the only healthy wideouts for Chicago. On 2nd and 3, it is Forte. Nice tackle made by Brian Robinson.
Not only a nice tackle, Kenny, but nice job taking on the block. It's a long trap, and you're going to have Matt Spaeth come all the way to the backside and try and get a block on him. And he's going to take that on, hold his ground, and then shed the block and make the tackle. That's a good play by a defensive end.
Yeah, he did a nice job of staying square on that, Darryl, so he can come back out and make that play. Sometimes all you get is a little piece of uniform. Hold on and wait for the troops to rally.
Marshall in motion, 3rd down and 3. Bears must get to the 41, and they do. It's Evan Rodriguez, the fullback, his first reception, his first touch in the NFL, rookie out of Temple, and Rodriguez gains 11.
You always lose track of the fullback in the flat in that situation.
Especially when he wears number 48.
No respect, is that what you're saying, Darryl?
Oh, gosh, I mean, you got Brandon Marshall, Matt Forte, you got all these other guys you're worried about. Really? Evan Rodriguez in the flat? It's like stealing, Goose.
So it is set of downs for Chicago as Cutler hands it off to Bush, and he is into Vikings territory. Gain of 5 to the Minnesota 46.
Here's what Minnesota has to understand right now. The key to the running game is this guy right here. He is going to take you to where the ball is going. Lance Lewis is pulling on about half of the plays right now. So as linebackers, and you're getting your reads, you know, you're not reading the running backs a lot of times, you're reading the blocking scheme. This afternoon, Chicago wants Lance Lewis to be their leader when he pulls.
Second down and 5, it's Bush. Bush up the middle, wrapped up by Kevin Williams, stopped about 2 yards shy of a first down.
They're doing a lot of movement up on that line of scrimmage. On that play, Darryl, Jonathan Scott pulled, came across the middle. So there a lot of misdirection by that offensive line, trying to get good angles on those defensive linemen, knowing that they penetrate in the middle.
So now another third down situation coming up. As you saw, Bears have converted on 5 of 7. Bennett, the motion man. Bush in the backfield. This is Bush. He's close. Robinson and Griffin on the tackle. Remember, our yellow line is unofficial, and the ball looks to be spotted just short.
Now, we talked about giving these guys some confidence. This is Lance Lewis right here. Look how he comes downfield. They're firing off the ball, something that we didn't see on film from this offensive line over the last couple weeks. I think sticking with the run game early is really something that they need to continue with, because that offensive line is looking better and better as the game goes on.
That's really what the running game is, Tony, and that's why you hear people say we've got to stay committed to the run. When you stay committed, you kind of build on that. And, you know, I mean, you couldn't have started in a worse way. I mean, you come out, you fumble the football on your first running play.
Scott Green called for the chains. Bears about a half yard short. Chicago sending in Gabe Carimi, Evan Rodriguez, Matt Spaeth, as Lovie Smith leaves his offense on the field on 4th and inches.
Now, we've seen the same play in this situation on 3 separate occasions. It's going to be an overloaded side with Gabe Carimi, and then you're going to have Lance Lewis either pulling to that overload if he's away from it from the right guard spot, or pulling to the outside if they overload it to the right side.
Bush is the back. 4th and inches for Chicago. It's Bush, and Michael Bush has a first down. Finally tackled by Aaron Henderson. He needed a half yard, and he gained about 5.5.
Here it is again. It's that overloaded formation. If you take a look, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys here. You got your fullback on that side, and everybody's just coming off the line. Here comes Lance Lewis around the outside. These guys are getting excited about running the football right now.
From the 37 off the fake to Bush. Wide open, Earl Bennett, but he stumbles. Gets back up and then is tackled by Henderson. Gain of 4 for Bennett. Now 2nd down and 6 as Forte checks back in. Devin Hester, Darryl, has been ruled out due to a concussion suffered early.
So they will be thin at wide receiver the rest of the game. Jay Cutler and Earl Bennett getting together right there. Jay Cutler is going to be mad at him because Earl Bennett had a lot of open field on that play action, and Jay Cutler put it on the back hip, and as Earl Bennett caught it, he went to the ground.
Bears have doubled up the Vikings as far as time of possession. 2nd down and 6. Forte tried to cut it back inside, and then Antoine Winfield, one of the top tacklers in the league over the last decade, holds Forte to a gain of just 2.
Well, we showed you the 3 opening drives for the Chicago Bears to start this game, and really the only time they had anything happen was when they got on that short field after the fumble by Adrian Peterson. This is an impressive drive. This is the 12th play. This is something we haven't seen a lot from the Bears this season, and it's been all started with this run game they've committed to.
Cutler out of the shotgun, 3rd down and 3. Cutler fires over the middle, and it is caught for a first down by Brandon Marshall, his 5th reception today, and the Bears get a new set of downs.
And here we go, Jonathan Scott. You know, he's taken over for Gabe Carimi at right tackle. I want you to keep an eye on him. You're not perfect all the time. He's working against Brian Robinson, gets beat to the inside. Just keep working. Keep working. I mean, use that big body. Use those big arms to get that guy shoved down inside. It's not always going to be, from a technique standpoint, how you drew it up.
Chris Spencer, the Bears' left guard, is shaken up. Back in a moment. There's Chris Spencer, tended to by the Bears medical staff, replaced by Edwin Williams. His first appearance this season. He started 7 games at left guard for the Bears last year. So with Williams in at left guard, 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Butler with time, can't find anyone. Now he sets, he throws to the end zone, and there is a flag. 2 flags have been thrown. Antoine Winfield with the coverage on Brandon Marshall after Cutler had loads of time and then finally fired to the end zone.
Again, this is an element that's missing when Jason Campbell's on the field. I mean, you're not going to see these types of play.
Defense, number 26. Foul occurred in the end zone. Ball will be spotted at the 1-yard line. First down.
Now Jay Cutler's going to drop back. Max protection. You've got 2 guys out on the route. Now he's going to move to his left, extend the play, extend the play. I'm going to take a shot. I've got my big receiver down in the end zone, one-on-one. Let's see what happens down there. But Brandon Marshall, you've got to do a little bit more, okay? Your quarterback's scrambling. Move around a little bit. Move around a little bit. Throw the ball up. Just throw it up, Jay.
He might have got away with one right there.
Yeah, I don't know. There's 2 guys competing for the football. I don't like the call.
Me neither.
Now it's Bush on 1st and goal from the 1, and he drags 2 Vikings with him into the end zone. It's his 2nd touchdown today.
That was kind of an old school Chicago Bear drive. I mean, they just stuffed it right down the throat of Jared Allen and the Minnesota Vikings. A lot of 3rd down conversions, getting into 3rd and short, bringing in Michael Bush and converting those. There he is down on the goal line, getting it across the end zone.
And now it's Puglis who walks it in for the 2-point conversion. The direct snap to the punter/holder, Adam Puglis. 18-3 Chicago. Back in Chicago, a 14-play, 80-yard drive. Bears take nearly 8 minutes off the clock. Key play, the pass interference call on Antoine Winfield. And now it's Josh Robinson on the return, and he is tackled at the 11-yard line by special team standout Eric Weems. When we return, we'll tell you more about Adam Puglis and the Bears' 2-point conversion. Minnesota Vikings trail by 15. They had a field goal blocked on their last possession. And then the Bears drove 80 yards for a touchdown. From the 11-yard line. Not much for Peterson. Brian Urlacher comes up to make the tackle.
All right, for everybody wondering why they went for 2 in that situation, let's go back and explain this. This is something that's going to be set when you come into the game. Special teams coach Dave Tobe, if he sees this formation where we have them overloaded with big bodies, this is a live call. We're going for 2. Look at 2 down blocks. Now you've got Gabe Karimi blocking a safety, and you got one of your big tight ends blocking a corner. It's a live call. When that formation came up, that play was on, and they got the 2 points, well executed and very aggressive.
2nd down and 10. Ponder takes off. Ponder out to the 17-yard line for a gain of 6.
Very
Vikings
impressed.
have had the ball, Goose, for just over 8 minutes. They picked up only 2 first downs. 3rd down and 4 upcoming.
And this is a huge conversion right here for the Minnesota Vikings. This game is sliding right now. Chicago has stolen all the momentum. The blocked field goal, a very impressive 14-play, 80-yard drive.
Ponder on 3rd down, throws, and it's Rudolph, his tight end. So Kyle Rudolph, on his 2nd reception of this game, able to pick up a first down, a gain of 8.
Nice job by Christian Ponder. Hanging in the pocket. He's going to take a hit from Henry Melton, but he's going to make the conversion on this pass. Here comes Henry Melton, steps in, takes the hit, but gets it to Kyle Rudolph. That was a big conversion. They had to slow down the momentum the Chicago Bears had generated.
From the 25-yard line as we approach the 2-minute warning. Ponder in trouble, able to get rid of it as he was knocked down by Israel Adonijah.
This is the way we're used to seeing the Chicago Bears front play. And we've got all kinds of different guys. Look at that, splitting the double team, getting right to the quarterback. I mean, we've seen Henry Melton, Israel Adonijah. We've seen all these defensive linemen beating guys one-on-one and getting up into Christian Ponder's face.
They're attacking right. Fusco, number 63, the right guard. That's the guy they're going after. They're running games with him.
Play action on second down as Ponder throws, and it's picked off by Chris Conti. And Conti still on his feet, finally tackled at the 12-yard line by Charlie Johnson. Second pick this season for Conti, leading 20th for the Bears. As we hit the 2-minute warning in Chicago, Bears by 15. Chris Conti, number 47, with the pick. Bears lead the league in interceptions. They lead the league in takeaways, and they look to add to their lead over the Vikings. With a minute 55 remaining, second quarter. First and 10 from the 13-yard line off the fake to Forte. Cutler fires to the end zone, and the catch is made for a touchdown by Matt Spaeth.
I tell you what, we've seen Matt Spaeth drop a couple easy passes during the course of this season. This is a heck of a catch on this one. Kellen Davis, number 87, working on Jared Allen. And look, again, there's Cutler hanging. He's going to get hit. Throws it perfectly. Now let's see if Matt Spaeth gets 2 feet down. There's one.
Ruled a touchdown on the field. All scoring plays are reviewed upstairs.
The previous play is under review.
The only thing I saw on that replay was his left knee. Everybody was looking at the foot, but the left knee looked like it hit that white line. It was pretty close.
Before the foot came down. I think you could be right, Tony. The right foot's definitely down. Watch, there goes that big right foot. Now watch that left knee. Looks like the foot goes down at the same time. I think it's going to be a situation where, you know, right now they're going to have to stay with the call that was made on the field. If you go through the 3 steps, number 1, catch. He's got catch. The big question is step number 2. Does he have 2 feet down? He does maintain possession all the way through the process. So, you know, the second part of that equation, did he get 2 feet down? Right foot. Now does that left foot get down before that toe on that left foot? Does that get down before that knee goes out of bounds? Looks like it does. Again, it was ruled touchdown on the field. I just think there's not enough evidence to change that call. That's a heck of a catch by Matt Spaeth. And again, I mean, we've seen a couple this year, Tony.
There it is right there.
Yeah, there you go.
You can see his left foot right there, and then when his knee comes down, he makes a divot. So when they see that angle right there, it'll be confirmed as a touchdown.
Matt Spaeth, a Minnesota native. Attended the University of Minnesota, won the John Mackey Awards, the top tight end in all of college football back in 2006. Gets a pat on the helmet from his quarterback, Jay Cutler.
Kellen Davis just jumped in. He must have heard the officials talking. He came over and gave him a big slap on the shoulders. This is what the Bears are about right here. They are a complementary football team, especially offensively. Defense takes it away. Offense takes advantage of the opportunity.
Exactly. They're
The
playing
play
off
by
each
special
other.
teams, absolutely. The blocked field goal by Julius Peppers. Now that was a heck of a drive, 14 plays, 80 yards. But again, this offense functions well around the way the team is built. And that's, you know, when the defense takes it away, or Devin Hester makes a big return, or we get a blocked field goal by Julius Peppers, let's be advantageous.
Here's the angle one more time. You see the right foot going down. Great catch by Spaeth. Watch his left foot. His left foot's going to hit.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Scott Green with the announcement. It is a touchdown. First of the season for Matt Spaeth.
See if Minnesota does something a little bit different on this block, knowing that they went for 2 last time now.
They ain't going to line up with 3 guys to the right side.
Safe. Oh, you see over here, now they got 4 guys on that right-hand side.
Well, this time, the Bears go the conventional route. Not look pretty, but goal connects. 2 Viking turnovers. Bears scored touchdowns following each one as Spaeth celebrates. A rivalry dating back to 1961. Today the 103rd meeting, and the Bears have the upper hand.
Yeah, monsters of the Midway, purple people eaters. That was some good stuff in that video right there. Great football players through both of these organizations.
Marcus Jones hesitated. So the Vikings will start from their own 20-yard line, trailing by 22. 2 Minnesota turnovers have led to Bears touchdowns. The Vikings also had a field goal blocked by Julius Peppers. Minnesota coming off their bye. Lost 2 of their last 3 games. Record of 6-4. 1 game behind the division leaders, Chicago and Green Bay. Ponder pump fakes and then throws short. Intended for Jarius Wright.
There's a lot of movement in that defensive line of Chicago, Tony. I think that's the one thing that's giving the Minnesota Vikings offensive line the most problems. They're twisting a lot up front, and they're not passing that game very well right now.
Yeah, one guy they're looking at is number 63, their guard, Brandon Fusco. They're attacking him exactly right with a lot of twist. He's the right guard.
Ponder firing downfield on 2nd down. Too far for the tight end. Rudolph as Ponder took another hit.
Yeah, I want you to look at this, Goose. Watch what they're doing. This is Julius Peppers. He's not even trying to get to the quarterback. He's going to challenge him. Watch him. He's going to go up. He's going to push Matt Khalil so Shea McClellan can come underneath. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get these guys off level and create opportunities with the guy looping under.
One thing John Sullivan's got to do, the center, is he's got to, even though he's sliding away, he's got to turn his head back and look for them stunts.
Here's Ponder, just 1 for his last 7. Catch is made by Wright, but he's knocked out of bounds by Hayden. And the Vikings forced a punt.
That was a quick 3 and out, something they didn't want to do. You know, when you get that pressure up in a quarterback's face, you hit him early in the game, all of a sudden now he's not really looking downfield as much. He's getting rid of the ball a little bit too early, and that's what I think we're getting from Christian Ponder right now.
Eric Weems back deep for the injured Hester, who suffered a concussion earlier. Chris Cluey's last punt off the side of his foot was just 23 yards. This time, end over end. And Weems, did it touch him? Question is, did it touch Eric Weems? And it is ruled Bears football, so it did not.
I like the aggressive play by Eric Weems to try and field this punt. Nothing worse than letting them hit the ground. And you see how close that ball came to hitting Eric Weems.
Field judge Boris Cheek right there to make the call. So the Bears take over with 1:21 remaining in the first half. They have 2 timeouts and lead by 22. Chicago has scored on their last 4 possessions, 3 touchdowns and a field goal. Cutler underneath, there is a flag. A rare flag as the catch is made by Matt Forte. Only 3 penalties to this point.
illegal hands to the face, number 65 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There's Jared Allen. There it is.
I don't know what he's talking about. I don't see anything.
That was close.
By the way, Chris Spencer, who was injured earlier, the Bears left guard, was in for that play and then headed back off to the sideline. So now it's Edwin Williams back in at left guard. And this play is blown dead. The officials move the chains. It's 1st and 10, not 1st and 5. And now Cutler fires. Earl Bennett in Vikings territory for a Bears first down. 21 yards from Cutler to Bennett. And a timeout is taken by Chicago, so we will check in with Kurt Menefee. What's coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, Kurt?
All right, coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll put the band back together and get you caught up in all the NFL action, including Carson Palmer's rough return to Cincinnati. And Andrew Luck looking to bounce back against the Bills. That's all coming up on the Visa Halftime. See you then.
What's Michael doing?
Is Jimmy Johnson always in that position? Did they just like glue him in that position? I've never seen him in any other position than his feet up and just sitting back.
Every time we check in with halftime, he's got the feet up, kick back.
Crazy.
Watching some football.
How about Michael having some fun? Michael and Troy Aikman celebrated their birthdays this past Wednesday. Happy birthday to both guys.
Yeah, happy birthday, guys.
Following the 21-yard pass play. 1st and 10 for Chicago from the Minnesota 42 as Cutler is wrapped up, able to get rid of it. And the catch is made on the scoop as Cutler is being taken down. Forte with the reception, no gain, now 2nd and 10. Bears have one timeout, 45 seconds remaining. Cutler to Marshall. Marshall to the Vikings.
I wonder if
34.
they're working on something with Brandon Marshall. We've seen that little short in route over and over again. They're trying to set Minnesota up for a double move on the outside.
3rd down and 2. The slant to Weems for a Bears first down. Clock continues to run. Chicago with one timeout. Down to 10 seconds. And they keep it on the ground with Forte. Greenway the tackle. And now the Bears will use their final timeout with 3 seconds remaining.
Well, Chicago really got on a roll here, taking advantage of some miscues after a turnover. Have a Michael Bush touchdown. They blocked this field goal right here. Julius Peppers right in the middle of the field. Their offense goes on a 14-play, 80-yard drive. Michael Bush again. And then after an interception by Chris Conti, Matt Spade with a great catch on the sidelines. So Chicago Bears playing great complimentary football here in the first half.
And now it's Robbie Gould out to attempt a 39-yard field goal. From the right hash, Podles places it down, and this kick is blocked. So, Julius Peppers with a block earlier for the Bears. And now Gould has his attempt at the end of the first half blocked. So Chicago with a 25-3 lead at the half. Kevin Williams with the block. With the Bears leading the Vikings 25-3. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. Bears won the opening coin toss, selected to defer, so they will get the ball first. Here in the second half, Devin Hester suffered a concussion early in the game, so Eric Weems is back deep. Blair Walsh gets things started. Weems will take it out. Weems for the 25-yard line. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth here in Chicago, Bears start the season 7-1. Lose Cutler late in the first half against Houston, lose to the Texans, lose to the 49ers, back on track today.
Yeah, and you can see the difference that he makes with this offense. I saw some great points made at the halftime show about what his presence means, not only for the passing game, but also for the offensive line. They're really glad to have them back. A couple of new guys stepping in and playing well on that offensive line, but Minnesota, you cannot abandon the run. I know that Howie talked about them becoming one-dimensional here because of the score, but you are built around running the football with Adrian Peterson. When you get the ball back on offense, you've got to stay true to who you are.
Also had a chance, I talked with Lovie Smith. He says the game plan that we had in the first half, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to try and run the ball and keep it going. The big difference that I see in this game between Minnesota and Chicago, just what Darryl said, is Minnesota has not established a run. Only 8 runs, 18 passes, where Chicago, they came out, they wanted to establish the run. They had to fumble early, but they stuck with it. They kept going. Another thing, Chicago on defense, Charles Tillman is out with an ankle. They will not use him in the second half.
All right, thanks very much, Goose. Big loss for the Bears. 2nd down and 6. Off the play fake. Cutler with loads of time. And the pass is off the hand of Kellen Davis, the tight end.
Kellen Davis, number 87, kind of that standard play. We have the bootleg. You're working across the field. Got to get 2 hands on it. You can get 1, you can get 2. Stretch out and get that second hand there.
Only the 3rd incompletion for Cutler. He was 15 of 17 in the first half. 3rd down and 6. Bears must get to the 35. Cutler backpedaling. Now he throws, and it's Marshall who breaks free. 1st down and more. Brandon Marshall out to the 46-yard line, a gain of 17.
Nice protection up front, also by the offensive line.
Yeah, but watch Brandon Marshall work here on the outside, going against A.J. Jefferson. Outside, now back inside. Again, it's good coverage by A.J. Jefferson. Jay Cutler, he rolls the dice. You know, he's going to take a shot at some of these opportunities where your receiver is covered tightly.
7 of Cutler's 16 completions have gone to Marshall. From the 46-yard line, quickly out to Earl Bennett. And Bennett is into Vikings territory and is close to another 1st down in the collision with Harrison Smith. Smith took the worst of it at the end of the play. Smith, the rookie out of Notre Dame, 1st-round pick, back up onto his feet.
This would be a big loss. Harrison Smith has really had a great start to his NFL career. You watch him on film, he does everything you want a safety to do, especially the safety here in Minnesota. Stuffs the run and great and deep coverage.
You cannot visit Chicago without having some deep dish.
You know, I love deep dish pizza, but they got to figure out a way to make them faster. Can't be waiting 35 minutes. I just don't have that time.
You don't like to wait?
No.
Harrison Smith out for the Vikings. Cutler's pass is high and picked off the hand of Marshall, and it's Antoine Winfield on the return for the Vikings.
Well, again, it's one of those big play actions where everybody is sold out. We've got Lance Lewis down on the field for the Chicago Bears, who are already very thin. Brandon Marshall's going to be coming in from the right side. So this is it's a 2-man route. Coming into the middle, here comes Mr. Raymond, the safety. I think that affected that throw a little bit, or the reaction by Brandon Marshall. And then Antoine Winfield just kind of playing right field out there with the easy interception. But the big thing for Chicago, Lance Lewis is down right now, and they're already thin there with Chris Spencer with a bad foot and Edward Williams in the lineup.
Lance Lewis, the injured Bear, hit on the interception return by Winfield as Adrian Peterson looks to bounce it to the outside, and there is a flag.
Personal foul, face mask, number 69, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Let's go back and take a look at the hit on Lance Lewis. I want you to watch Jared Allen's right here, and we're going to bring in Mike Pereira. Mike, is this the new defenseless player that they've added to the list?
Yeah, that's called the blindside block. And when Allen is going back toward his own goal line or in line or parallel down the line, then you can't lead with your shoulder, forearm, or head into the head or neck area of an opponent. To me, that's an illegal blindside block.
All right, thanks, Mike. Adrian Peterson takes it down to the 19-yard line for a gain of 5.
And more so than the fact that there was not a penalty call is the fact that Lance Lewis was down, and they are thin guard, center guard, the Chicago offensive line. They're going to have to make some adjustments there, because with the injury to Chris Spencer, we've already got Edwin Williams in that lineup.
And Spencer was starting for Shiloh Rachel, who was taken out of the starting lineup this week, left the Bears facility, and then was placed on the reserve suspended list. Here's Peterson inside the 15-yard line.
And again, I just don't think you can get away from this style. You can look at the scoreboard and you can be down 22, but this is the guy that your offense is built around. 3.5 yards per carry, but Adrian Peterson is the guy that's going to create an opportunity for a big play. Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings, has to keep him involved in the game plan.
Third down and 1 off the fake to Peterson. Palmer hits the tight end Rudolph. He is inside the 5 and then knocked out of bounds by Major Wright. Rudolph picks up a first down, his third catch today for a gain of 12.
Well, you always know you have a mix-up in coverage when you've got 2 defenders on one guy and nobody on the other. Actually, Kyle's going to be inside that, 82. That was Rhett Ellison, number 40. He's actually the player that takes the 2 Bears down the field. You see Kyle Rudolph all alone in the flat.
First and goal from the 2. Two tight end set for the Vikings. Off the fake to Peterson. Ponder to Rudolph. Touchdown.
Well, they've got to get something figured out there. That is the 3rd time they have run that play, and Kyle Rudolph has popped wide open both times. You remember, that's the play that Charles Tillman hurt his ankle on. Watch number 82. Going to come down, block on Corey Wooten, and it's a good job by Rhett Ellison. The guy who's covering Kyle Rudolph, actually, Rhett Ellison pushes him down inside as he releases to the corner. That's a nice play design by Bill Musgrave.
And that is the 7th touchdown of the season for Rudolph. Walsh the extra point. So the Vikings capitalized. The interception by Antoine Winfield, and then Ponder to Rudolph. 15-point Bears lead. Kyle Rudolph with the touchdown reception as the Vikings look to get back into this game. They force a turnover and score a touchdown, trail by 15. As Walsh kicks it off, Weems takes it out on a bounce. Bears lost Devin Hester to a concussion earlier. So Eric Weems, Pro Bowler on special teams a couple of years ago with the Falcons, brings it out across the 20 as Jay Cutler and the Bears offense returns. Cutler 17 of 21 in his return after missing Monday night's game in San Fran.
Has played well, not only from a production standpoint, but he just adds an element to this offense. It benefits the offensive line. They've played better today in pass protection. Mike Tice's play calling has been better today. Gabe Karimi is the player that gets kicked into the right guard spot, Lance Lewis.
Cutler hands it off to Matt Forte, running behind Edwin Williams, who took over at left guard for Chris Spencer. How important is Jay Cutler to this Chicago Bears team since 2009? 50 starts coming into the game today, 31 and 19. And in the games Cutler did not start, 4 different quarterbacks, just 2 wins. On 2nd and 6, it's Forte. Back to the 27, so it will be 3rd down and 3 as Winfield comes up to make the tackle.
You know, I sure a lot of Chicago fans right now, Kenny, are kind of concerned. You know, it was 7-3 last year when Jay Cutler injured that thumb and missed the remainder of the year, and the Bears season just spiraled downward. And you know, you're in that same situation with a concussion at 7-3. Oh my gosh, are we reliving what happened in 2011?
Bears lost 5 of their last 6 a season ago after losing Cutler. Finished 8-8. Bears able to pick up a first down. It's Brandon Marshall who makes his 8th catch today for a gain of 8.
Yeah, and here's one of the reasons why I don't think you can draw a parallel to what happened in 2011 and what was going to happen here in 2012. Brandon Marshall adds an element to this offense that didn't exist. And they're better in a lot of different areas. They're better at safety. They're better at corner this year. The corners are playing better this year. We brought that up to Lovie Smith, and he wasn't buying any of it. He said, no, we are a much better team than we were last year at 7-3.
2 set of downs for Chicago. From the 35-yard line, it's Forte. And so much talk coming into the game about the offensive line with the 2 new starters inserted, Spencer and Scott. And then they lose Spencer and Lance Lewis today. But this line has kept Jay Cutler relatively clean. Only 1 sack for Minnesota. It was credited on the play when Spencer stepped on Cutler's foot.
And really, a lot of it has to do with Jay Cutler being back there. He has the ability to extend the play. He can hold the ball. He's got a very quick release. He's got a strong arm. And, you know, he'll throw from any position in that pocket.
I think you got to also look at Matt Forte in the running game. Them sticking with the running game now. You know, defensively, you have to do a little bit of the guessing game. Was it a pass? Is it a run? And that slows that defensive line down, especially on the pass rush. So,
it's another pass to Marshall there, Goose, for a short gain, a gain of 3. So the Bears now facing a 3rd down and 6.
You gotta love Brandon Marshall. He's always got a smile on his face now. He's just happy. He catches the ball. Whether he gets 2 yards or he gets 20 yards, he's smiling, he's happy. Guy that just loves playing football.
26. 9 receptions today. Big reason why the Bears have been so successful on 3rd down. Bears must get to the 45. Cutler fires, and looked like simultaneous possession, but then it was taken away from Winfield by, guess who? Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, well, we got a blitz coming from the offense's right side, and Jamarcus Sanford is going to come free to Jay Cutler, but he's going to get there a step late, and there's Brandon Marshall out of the slot. Just see that little slide to the right. Jay Cutler feels the blitz coming in. He just slides a little bit to the left, and then look at the point of the catch.
Well, that's unbelievable coverage right there by Winfield.
10 receptions for Marshall. From the 49, it's Forte into Vikings territory.
That ball's out. That ball was out.
Yeah,
there was
Raymond.
no whistle.
Mistral Raymond on the return. No whistle, Goose.
There was no whistle, and all the officials are looking at each other.
There was no whistle.
Dropped a beanbag chair, but I agree, Tony. I never heard a whistle.
No, we saw one of the officials kind of look back and shrug his shoulders.
And we got 2 players down. Jasper Brinkley just got up.
Moving on the field is touchdown.
It is ruled a touchdown. So no whistle, as Goose said. And it's returned by Mistral Raymond for a Vikings touchdown.
Watch the whole play here. Matt Forte makes a nice cut to the outside. He's still moving. Boom, the ball is out. Watch it right there on top of the pile.
He's not down because he's on top of other players.
Yep.
Cutler looking the other way as Raymond runs right by him. And Forte is still down, being tended to by the Bears medical staff. Hard to tell whether or not Forte's knee was down. Right there, it looks like, but it depends. It depends on when the ball came out.
Yeah, but with his knee down in that shot, you still never got to see the ball coming out. And then you could see Matt Forte getting pulled backwards.
Now, it was a turnover, which are automatically reviewed upstairs.
Ruling on the field.
And it has been confirmed. So the replay officials took a look at it, it has been confirmed. First career touchdown for Raymond as Forte limps off the field, and what a turn of events here in Chicago.
I tell you what, we've had two bizarre plays. We had the interception by Antoine Winfield, but as a part of that, the Chicago Bears lose Lance Lewis. Now, on a fumble picked up by Mr. Raymond, down for a touchdown, we've got Matt Forte limping to the sideline.
Correction, the previous play will be reviewed.
Wow. So Scott Green initially announced that the ruling on the field was confirmed, and then he was buzzed from the replay booth, and now they will take another look at it. As we welcome in Mike Pereira from Los Angeles. Mike, what did you see on that play?
Well, I see a pretty unusual play here just because of the fact that they originally buzzed down that the call was confirmed, but before the extra point, they obviously changed their mind and saw the shot that showed that the knees might be down. Remember, they can't get involved in progress. So forward progress was not ruled on the field. Replay can't go and say that there was forward progress stop, but they can say, were the knees down, and that's what they're going to take a look at here. When you look at the shots, again, seeing where the ball is when it does appear that the knees are down, that's what they're going to be looking at.
I think the tough thing, Mike, was his knees were down, and we got that late, but then he was driven backwards, so it looked like, I think the officials, as they stepped in, saw his knees up, but had missed the point where they were down before that, and then as the pile shifted and went backwards and the knees came off the ground, might have been the reason why we got such a quick call.
Yeah, and kind of one of those you have to look at, you know, Moose, that where you're going to take a look at a couple different shots here. You know, you can see in that one shot where the knees are down. Then you got to go to another shot to see when the ball actually gets pried away, which is after he's on top of body. So I think, in my opinion, when you're looking at these, you know, both shots, I think you have a strong case of saying that the knees were actually down.
So they
because, you know, again,
they can piece the shots
focus
together.
on the knees, on that shot in the knees, yeah.
And Mike, it was
putting the
ruled,
two shots together, the knees are down.
ruled a touchdown on the field, and there obviously must be conclusive evidence when they piece those shots together in order to overturn the call.
Look at the shot here. There the knees are down, and you know from the other shot that the ball does not get pried away until he's after bent back over the bodies of players. So, you know, they're looking at this, but to me, I would certainly think you'd change this into him being down.
And here's the
You know,
shot
people
that
are
Mike's
going to
talking.
ask by the way, yeah, and people are going to ask about the fact, can you, since he confirmed it, can he now go back and actually, the replay assistant asked for the review, and he can up until the ball is snapped for the extra point, so that's not an issue.
Here comes Scott Green. Thanks, Mike.
After reviewing the play, the runner was down, knees were down, with possession of the ball. The ball will be spotted at the 48-yard line, second down and 7.
So as Mike Pereira mentioned, because the next snap did not take place, even though Scott Green announced that the call was confirmed, they were able to go and take some more looks at it. So the touchdown comes off the board. Forte on the sidelines. Bears maintain possession.
Well, the good news is the Bears maintain possession. The bad news is Matt Forte is walking very gingerly back into the locker room.
He is the fifth key player the Bears have lost due to an injury in this game. Hester, Tillman, Spencer, Lewis, and now Forte.
Again, we talked about Chicago in the offseason going out and solidifying the backup roles with Jason Campbell at quarterback, but also Michael Bush at running back. And here's a perfect reason why you've got to have quality in your key positions on offense and defense.
So with 6:12 remaining in the third quarter, Bears maintain their 15-point lead. And their offense is back on the field. It will be second down and 7 from the Vikings 48. Forte's return questionable. It's an ankle injury. So he's replaced by Michael Bush. Butler moving to his right, chased by Jared Allen. What a catch by Marshall for a Bears first down.
Darryl, it looks like every time the ball is thrown to him, it's like his gloves have glue on them. It's unbelievable how he just absorbs that ball and catches these passes.
Yeah, but watch this. I mean, you've got Jared Allen. He's just a step late. You got two guys pulling out the block. I mean, he beats both of those guys, and he is hot on the heels of Jay Cutler. And here's the finish you talked about, Goose.
Oh, look at that ball. Sucks that ball right in.
And with that catch, Goose, Marshall over 1,000 yards this season. Here's Bush, who spins and then reaches down to the 31-yard line as we check in with Kurt.
Kenny, here's one you don't see every day. In Miami, a sprinkler delay. Dolphins marching down by a touchdown. They had to stop because all the sprinklers on the field went off. They finally got it started again, ready to begin the fourth quarter. Seattle with a lead, 14-7, but Kenny Moose and Goose, I guess it's been that kind of month for the Dolphins, who've lost 3 straight coming into this one.
I think I've seen that on a commercial before, Kurt.
Hope they get the sprinkler issue resolved in South Florida. As Michael Bush takes it down to the 28-yard line. Dolphins like water, right?
Absolutely.
Now you see a lot of things happening. All of a sudden you want to make that turf a little slippery.
Goose never shying away from the conspiracy theory.
I'm just, man, I didn't think about that when I was playing. That would have been great.
So the only one that slipped by here.
We got to slow Marshawn Lynch down. What do we do?
Let's put the water
Turn
on.
the sprinklers on.
3rd down and 1. Off the play fake to Bush. Pass is deflected. Aaron Henderson getting a piece of it. So it will be 4th down. Robbie goal time.
Jared Allen one more time. Little inside move right here. He's on the outside. Nobody blocks him. Nice job by Henderson getting his hands up and tipping the ball.
So the Bears send out the field goal unit. And Chris Spencer, who was not in on offense, was out. Now he's heading off the field. Bears had an extra player on the field. Spencer to the sidelines, 46-yard attempt from the right hash. And Gould's kick is straight through. So the Bears get a reprieve following what looked like a Minnesota touchdown, and then they add to their lead. Bears lead 28-10, just under 4 minutes remaining. 3rd quarter here in Chicago. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for the Vikings. No opportunity for a return, so the Vikings will start at their own 20-yard line, trailing by 18. There's Charles Tillman having a great season, has his helmet on, but still on the sidelines. One of 5 key injuries suffered by Bears players today.
And maybe Charles Tillman, you know, a guy, hey, we don't want to put you back in. If we have to, we will. And the other ones, you know, when you talk about Matt Forte and Chris Spencer, Chris Spencer's been in and out. You wonder what the severity of those injuries are.
Vikings start from their own 20-yard line. It's Adrian Peterson found a hole. And Peterson takes it out to the 30. That is his best run of the day. He picks up 10.
That's why you got to keep handing it off to him. I mean, he's just, I mean, watch this run. I mean, he just, power, speed, the ability to change direction. He's so hard to tackle.
45 yards for Peterson on the ground today. Over the last 4 games, he's averaging 157 per game. Ponder on 1st down, loses the football, and it is ruled an incomplete pass.
A lot of pressure on Christian Ponder in the pocket. It starts to collapse on him. They're adding some linebackers in there now.
Arm moving forward, hand moving forward, which is the key.
Bill Lovey was upset on the sideline, yelling, get the ball, play the ball.
It was a late whistle.
Yeah. Let the officials make the decision.
Second and 10 from the 30. Inside handoff to Peterson. Gain of 6 out to the 36-yard line.
Oh, major right took a hit right there. Let's take a listen. That's pads cracking right there, man.
Peterson to the sidelines.
You remember that, Darryl, don't you?
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Bonner to the outside, and it's Rudolph.
We've been talking about the fact that Minnesota has to keep Adrian Peterson involved in this, and some people look at the score and say it's 18 points with a little over 2.5 minutes to go in this game, but it's a weird state for this offense. They lead with the most explosive runs this year, the Minnesota Vikings do, but they are last in the NFL in explosive passes. If you want a big play, I mean, here's the key. This is the guy who has your 3 longest plays from scrimmage, so you can't take him out of that equation.
Pass incomplete, intended for Simpson, and those 3 big runs all came in the Vikings' last 3 games. And to make matters worse, for the second straight game, they're without their leading receiver, the explosive Percy Harvin.
He adds that other element to Adrian Peterson. I mean, it's so hard for him to carry the burden by himself when Percy Harvin is on the field in the passing game, and also as a running back, you know, and outside with some end arounds and different things that they do in the running game with him playing at different spots across the formation.
Second down and 10. Bonder's pass is caught out of the 47-yard line by Michael Jenkins, his first reception today, for a gain of 4. So third down and 6 coming up for the Vikings, who trail by 18. Minnesota just 1 game out of the NFC North, trailing the Packers and the Bears. Third and 6, the catch is made for a first down by Jenkins as he split in between Tim Jennings and Craig Stelz for a gain of 13.
That's a nice throw catch right there. I mean, you hit Mike Jenkins right in stride, allow him to run after the catch.
Yeah, you talked about it earlier, Darryl, about Christian Ponder and making good decisions. I think so far in this game he's made really good decisions. When to run, when to throw the ball away.
Ponder fires and could not be handled by Simpson. Kelvin Hayden on the coverage. He's in for Tillman. Second and 10 coming up.
You got to make plays when you have an opportunity to make plays. And, you know, Christian Ponder's got pressure in the pocket. He hangs in there, makes a throw. I mean, Jerome Simpson's got to make that catch. Hits him right between the numbers.
That's the problem. He let it hit his chest. He didn't catch it with his hands. Got to catch that with his finger.
Second and 10, Adrian Peterson. Peterson picks up another Vikings first down.
I love that little gallop right before he's going to make contact. Take a look at this. This is how you run the ball. Watch Adrian Peterson out of the backfield. Downhill. Now he turns directly upfield. Boom. Little gallop. Boom. He is the hammer, not the nail on this one. Got to keep your head up, though. He can't put his head down like that. That's when you get hurt. Nice way to keep your legs driving.
Gain of 14 for Adrian Peterson. From the Bears 26. Ponder overthrows Kyle Rudolph.
But if you keep giving the ball to Adrian Peterson, you're going to soften that defense. Chris Conte, Major Wright, they have to be involved in the run game to get up there and give that support. That will give you the opportunity to get a ball down the seam to Kyle Rudolph.
Longest drive of the day for the Vikings. This the 11th play. Quick throw, and it's Darius Wright who takes it down to the 16-yard line. Looks to have the Vikings first down as time winds down in this third quarter here in Chicago.
And there's a reason why this Bears defense is so good at generating turnovers. Darius Wright makes the catch, but as the corner makes the tackle and holds him up, you've got 5 guys from that Bears defense coming in to put a hit on him to try and knock that ball loose.
Third quarter comes to an end. Vikings on the move, trailing the Bears by 18. Back in Chicago, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Start the fourth quarter. Bears lead by 18. First and 10 from the 16-yard line for the Vikings. Play fake to Peterson. And then Ponder's pass is short. Intended for the tight end, Ellison.
But I like the awareness of Christian Ponder in not taking the sack at this time. You're in the fourth quarter now. Time is going to become your enemy. So you have to play action. Your protection starts to break down, and you know, drip, get out of there, get it towards a receiver on your side.
There's Charles Tillman from the sideline, giving signals, numbers, all kinds of stuff to help his teammates out.
Good little coaching. Here's Peterson on second down. And Peterson picked up by Major Wright. Takes it down to the 8-yard line of Chicago.
He's in the zone right now, Darryl.
He is. He really, he hits the ground and he's up and he's walking back to the huddle.
And he wants the ball again.
I want it again. Give it to me again.
Exactly.
38 yards on this drive for Peterson. Vikings now facing a third down and 2 from the Bears 8. Ponder backpedaling, moving to his left. And then he throws to the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Jarius Wright. Kelvin Hayden on the coverage.
Well, Christian Ponder wanted Kyle Rudolph, but here's one of the ways you cover a tight end when you're a linebacker. Watch Kyle Rudolph as he comes in motion and crosses. Lance Briggs, here's how I cover. You're inside the 5 yards. That was one of the things when we played, Tony, that you had to know about.
That's
and here
right.
comes a huge fourth down.
That's the intimidation factor right there. Next time you come across that middle, think about it.
Vikings go for it on fourth down and 2. Ponder again moving left, under pressure, and it's incomplete.
I don't know, Darryl. I think Adrian Peterson was ready to go and take the ball. I don't like that call.
So Leslie Frazier elects to go for it on fourth down. A field goal, successful field goal, would have made this a 2-possession game. Would have pulled Minnesota to within 15. It remains a 3-possession game as the Bears start from their own 8-yard line. Early fourth quarter, leading by 18. Butler looking to throw on first down. It is Marshall. Another spectacular catch. The 2 defenders all over Brandon Marshall. Picks up a Bears first down.
Looked like more than 2 defenders on this one, Kenny.
Yeah, I've really been impressed with Brandon Marshall catching the ball in traffic today. But I want to go back to the point that Kenny made about the 3-possession, 2-possession. Remember, Chicago ran that 2-point conversion earlier in this game because of a look they got on their extra point. And, you know, you wonder if, you know, how that impacted the decision making. Because you talk about an 18-point lead, it's a touchdown and a 2-point conversion and the field goal.
Here's Bush. But if they kick the field goal there, it becomes a 2-possession game at 28-13. Leslie Frazier returning to Chicago. Led the Bears in interceptions 3 seasons back in the 80s. Suffered a career-ending injury in Super Bowl 20 on a punt return. Second down and 7. Bush in for Forte, who suffered the ankle injury earlier. Penalty markers prior to the snap. It's a false start.
False start. Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
That's Jamarcus Webb, the left tackle. Bears and Packers tied atop the NFC North. Best division in football this year.
And then you look at Minnesota, 1 game back at 6-4, and a lot of games between those top 3 teams over the next couple of weeks. So when Leslie Frazier talked about getting to the point where in December we want to be playing meaningful games where we control our destiny, they're 2-0 in the division right now, but they've still got 3 more divisional games after today.
Combined 24 wins, more than any other division in football. Cutler off his back foot, completes the push, but he's tackled back at the 18-yard line by Fred Evans, loss of a yard.
You know, watching Jay Cutler out there, one thing he is doing is he's working the clock. If you watch the game clock, which will be right under here, it's going to pop up in red, you'll see that he doesn't snap the ball until there's 2 or 3 seconds left. Right now it's at 22. He's going to wait for that to wind all the way down, so he's going to take as much time off the clock, knowing that it's a 3-possession game.
Watch the game, Jay.
On 3rd and 13, the delayed handoff to Bush. Tackled at the 25 by Raymond. So now the Bears will punt it away with just over 11 minutes remaining.
It's one of the things that I've been impressed with the offense today too, Tony. You know, the ability to have these time taken off the clock, you know, getting kind of back to that Bear style that remember years ago. That all running the football.
All falls right into place when we talked about before the game. They got to stick with the run game. They established that early.
Podlish punting for only the 2nd time. He scored on the 2-point conversion back in the 2nd quarter. Fair catch is called for by Sherrills. Back at the 24. So trailing by 18. It's Adrian Peterson and the Vikings offense back out onto the field. This year, more than 70,000 schools at 1,700 events. And through the creation of youth fitness zones across the country, NFL Play 60 has improved the health of millions of American children through the power of play. Visit NFLRush.com to learn how NFL Play 60 could come to your community. Vikings trailing by 18. Pass is intended for Jenkins. 2nd and 10 upcoming for the Vikings.
I love the way that they've incorporated nutrition into that Play 60 program too, Kenny. You know, we talk about these athletes and the exercises and everything they do, but nutrition is a big deal too. And the NFL's worked with a number of groups over the years to raise money and awareness to help families in everybody's communities lead healthier lives. And Taste of the NFL has been working with them for 22 years, and it's a great program that they've got out there for the kids today to help battle childhood obesity.
We got 10.
Terrific job by all involved. 2nd and 10. From the 24-yard line, Ponder out of the shotgun. This is Peterson up the middle. Wrapped up by a trio of Bears led by Lance Briggs. We had West, Kurt Menefee.
Well, the Falcons and Bucks keep going back and forth, and this time it's Atlanta taking the lead behind a 3-yard touchdown run from Michael Turner. 6th lead change of the game, 24-23. Falcons up right now. Can he lose some loose?
Houston, Texas, 10-1. Falcons hope to be 10-1 in about a half hour as Ponder is down back at the 22-yard line. Israel Adonijah along with Shea McClellan.
And this is one of those opportunities where everything's starting to collapse around you, and I think that Christian Ponder hung in there so long he had no exit route. Once it got to that, you've got 3 Chicago Bears just collapsing on top of you.
Those ends fell right back inside.
Vikings go 3 and out. Cluey waiting back at his 9-yard line. Williams for the injured Hester back deep for Chicago. It's the up man Earl Bennett calls for the fair catch at the 35-yard line. Bears in control, celebrating following the sack by Israel Adonijah. Chicago Bears lead the Minnesota Vikings by 18. Bears start from their own 34-yard line with Armando Allen in the backfield. This is Allen. Out across the 35, gain of 2.
An opportunity for Armando Allen to get some touches here now. Matt Forte out with an injury. Michael Bush been carrying the load here since Matt Forte went out.
How about
We'll see how Jay Cutler,
yeah.
You talk about threading the needle in his passing game. We'll see how good he does with the laces right there. How can you say he's not a good teammate?
That was a nice bow right there.
Yeah.
Now think back to what took place between Cutler and Jamarcus Webb earlier this season, and then piece those 2 shots together.
Hey, Jay, can you tie my shoe for me? Absolutely not. You're getting me killed out here.
Now with the play clock winding down,
Should have put a double knot in that.
thanks to the lost shoe of Webb, Bears forced to use a timeout.
That's the one bad thing when the QB's tying your shoe. He can't get the play called in the huddle.
Bears and Vikings will do it again in 2 weeks in Minneapolis. Chicago leading today 28-10. Cutler on 2nd down. Over the top, off the hands of Marshall, and then nearly picked off by Greenway.
I tell you what, he does all the dirty work as a wide receiver, Brandon Marshall. And we've heard about the wide receiver position in the NFL becoming a diva position. This guy's not running a lot of deep routes this afternoon. He's running ins, he's running slants, he's running hitches.
54.
He's got 12 receptions, but he hasn't even broken 100 yards yet, Kenny.
Averaging just under 8 yards per reception. 3rd down and 8. Cutler fires to the 45-yard line, incomplete. Intended for a sliding Kellen Davis.
Jay Cutler not too happy with that right there. I thought he maybe put the ball right where it needed to be.
I think he did. Just past the outstretched arms. It's on the back shoulder, but Kellen Davis has got to make that catch.
Bears go 3 and out. Podlish punted from his own 25-yard line. Sherrill stays in bounds for a moment and then is pushed out. With 8:23 remaining in the 4th as Rudolph heads to the locker room. College football's biggest championship games return to Fox Friday. The Pac-12 championship, UCLA and Stanford. Then on Saturday, the Big Ten championship, Nebraska and Wisconsin. Pac-12 and Big Ten title games only on Fox. Christian Ponder and the Vikings trailing by 18. Vikings must head to Green Bay next Sunday before hosting the Bears in 2 weeks. Not get any easier in the battle for the NFC North crown. Here's Peterson. Peterson continuing to run hard, still on his feet, and finally forced out of bounds. After his longest run of the day, he goes 23 yards.
They come out in formation, Goose, and I'm like, you know what, we may have to change our thinking. It might be time to start throwing the ball because maybe you've lost the opportunity to stay with Adrian Peterson, and then he has a run like this.
You can't give up now.
Oh my gosh, the guy is unbelievable.
Maybe they're second guessing if they should have gave him the ball on that 4th and 2
or 3rd and 2.
3rd and 2.
But Peterson only 25 yards in the first half. He goes over 100 for the 5th consecutive game. First time in his career. And it ties the franchise record. Robert Smith back in 2000 with 5 consecutive 100-yard games. And now Peterson this year. 2nd and 2, midway through the 4th quarter. Ponder sets, hits Peterson out of the backfield into Bears territory. He's close to a 1st down.
I think the frustrating thing with Adrian Peterson and all the production he has in the running game is there's no complementary play-action passing game that we've seen be really effective for the Minnesota Vikings. When the guy puts up numbers like that on a weekly basis, now 5 weeks in a row, there should be huge plays in the play-action passing game, and they're just not happening for the Minnesota Vikings. They went back and took a look at it. You know, they had a tough day throwing the ball against Tampa in Seattle. They took a look at what they're doing. They thought they had some things figured out after the Detroit game going into the bye, but they've got to find a way to take advantage of the stress that Adrian Peterson puts on these defenses.
We talked about his remarkable comeback. Leslie Frazier, when asked about Peterson, invoked the name of his former teammate here in Chicago, Walter Payton.
Absolutely, and I think when you watch them run, their running styles are very, very similar. That last run, I mean, that if you're a Bears fan watching this game, that's going to bring back visions of Walter Payton, just a physical, never say die type of player.
On 3rd and inches, the ball hit the ground on the exchange, and it looks like Major Wright has it for the Bears. He does. Second time Peterson has lost a fumble today.
Well, the first one was Adrian's fault. Let's see what happens on this one. Well, that's on Adrian too. Christian Ponder's got it out. He tried to take it from Christian as opposed to letting him place it into the pocket. Again, we talked about one of the things that Leslie Frazier, the head coach, thought Adrian was doing better was being patient. On that one right there, maybe a little bit impatient, trying to make that cut and taking the ball from Christian Ponder.
3rd Vikings turnover. So the Bears take over at midfield. Bush, who has 2 touchdowns for the Bears today, puts the fend off Brinkley. Bush down at the 47, gain of 3. We saw Kyle Rudolph of the Vikings head off moments ago, their starting tight end, and he is being evaluated for a possible concussion. Bears have lost 5 players today due to injury. Hester, a concussion. Lance Lewis, a knee injury, both ruled out. Spencer, a knee. Forte, an ankle. Tillman, an ankle.
Physical game today.
It's Bears Vikings in the NFC North.
Second down and 7. Cutler steps up and takes it to the 42-yard line.
That's a good feel right there of the pressure coming in from your right side. Make the quick decision, pull it down. You know, 2 weeks removed from a concussion, I'd still like to see him slide at the end of some of these runs. We see how important he is for this team. There's no reason to take an unnecessary hit down the field. I've never questioned his toughness or his guts as a quarterback, but right now, after what happened last week, after what happened last season, you are too valuable to this team as the quarterback to put yourself in a position where you can get a hit from a big defensive lineman chasing downfield.
And valuable as a guy who can tie a shoelace of a teammate. Saw that moments ago.
We get somebody else to do that.
Firing downfield from Marshall through his hands.
But what I was going to say is we can't get somebody else to do that. If Brandon Marshall makes that catch, finally, we've seen it all afternoon. It's been short route after short route after short route. Now they get him deep down the field. He gets Mistrell Raymond to bite on that. He gets behind him, and it goes right through his hands.
So Podlish to punt for the 3rd consecutive possession. Sherrills lets it go. And it will be down by the long snapper, the 15-year vet, Patrick Manley at the 10. Well, our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader continues after the Bears and Vikings. It will be America's Game of the Week, a rematch of the divisional playoff thriller of last January. The 49ers and the Saints. San Francisco in first place in the NFC West. Saints started the season 0-4. They have won 5 of their last 6. Some of you will see the Rams and the Cardinals. It's America's Game of the Week. Up next.
I think the New Orleans Saints, one of the hottest teams, not only in the NFC, but in the NFL right now, a scary team. That's going to be a fantastic game.
Ponder over the top on first down. Peterson tackled by Urlacher. Gain of 4 with 5 minutes remaining. Vikings trail by 18.
Got to find a way to stretch the field. You need an explosive play for the Vikings right now. And it has to be in the play call and design.
Ponder on 2nd and 6. Darius Wright
Michael Jenkins on that play was wide open, Darryl, on the right side of the field from where I'm at, on your side. I mean, talk about stretching the field. Look at this. Watch this route right here. He comes to the outside. No one's even near him. No safety over the top. Christian Ponder gets rid of that a little too early. He's got to look on the backside a little bit.
And Goose, Darius Wright unable to make the catch inbounds. There's offensive coordinator Bill Musgrave. Third down and 6 for Minnesota. Ponder throws on third down, and it's Wright who picks up the Vikings first.
There's a heck of a catch.
Darius Wright, the rookie out of Arkansas. It's his 23rd birthday today. Playing in his second game following the injury suffered by Harvin. Now it's Peterson on the screen, and he's tackled by Urlacher. And there is a flag. Looked like a horse collar tackle by Brian Urlacher on Adrian Peterson.
Yep, gets inside the shoulder pad, the jersey.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Two of the greats of this generation of the National Football League, Adrian Peterson and Brian Urlacher.
I don't think Brian Urlacher liked that call. You know, it's tough, man. When you got Adrian Peterson making a cut like he did, and all of a sudden your body's going, that's all Brian could do is reach out and grab something. It just happened to be jersey in the back of the helmet.
Ponder on first down. It is deflected a couple of times and picked off by Tim Jennings, his 9th of the season. Jennings is inside the 20 and finally tackled at the 15 by Stephen Burton, who was the intended receiver. It looked like a pinball bouncing around the machine, and then Jennings came up with the pick.
You know, this is something that is created, and Rod Marinelli has done a great job of creating this, and it all comes from a culture of hustle. I want you to watch this team when this interception happens. As you pointed out, Kenny, it's like a pinball machine. Boing, 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 and the hand to eye. Now, everybody, Tim Jennings has got the ball, the defense, they want to score. It's unbelievable what Rod Marinelli has been able to create here in Chicago. Turnovers don't come in bunches. They really don't. Ball hit the ground right there.
And this will be overturned to hit the ground.
Stephen Burton should have caught that ball. That ball was right in his hands.
But it's still great to watch the transition of this group. When that ball is intercepted or there's a fumble recovery, they become like an offense going down the field.
Scott Green out from under the hood. Taking a look at the last play, we expect it to be overturned, and the Vikings should keep possession.
After reviewing the play, the ball did hit the ground. The pass is incomplete. It'll be second down. Please reset the game clock to 4 minutes and 14 seconds.
Chris Conti with an opportunity after it deflected away from Burton. Hits the ground there before the left foot of Conti knocks it back up into the hands of Tim Jennings.
Even though it was coming back, it was fun to watch. This defense, Lovie Smith told us, the first thing we expect them to do is score. And it's funny to say it, but when you watch how they play and the turnover is there, they're thinking about scoring immediately.
So Jennings with 8 interceptions. He leads the league. Does not come up with his 9th, but does come up to make the tackle on Darius Wright.
And those are two of the areas that Lovie Smith says they are so much better this year than they were last year. Charles Tillman and Tim Jennings at the corner position, and then Major Wright and Chris Conti back at safety.
Penalty flag is thrown.
Only 12 men on the field, Kenny.
A pass intended for Wright.
Like Nate Collins was on the field, couldn't get off.
12 men on the field on defense. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
Yeah, he's a big man. You got to give him a little extra time here, man. Right now you got to jump and hopefully get out of bounds before they call it. You know?
And a new emphasis this year, you must be completely out of bounds, not just in the air if you try to leap to the sidelines. You must be all the way off the field. Third down and 5 for Minnesota. Empty backfield under 4 minutes to play. Ponder airing it out. He was looking for the former Bear, Devin Aromashodu, and it's Zach Pullman, who was in camp with the Vikings this year on the coverage.
Coming out of the slot. Just a seam release down the field. Keeps his inside position, gets the head around. The most important thing you can teach young players, get that head around. You get quite a bit of leeway with the officials if you get that head around.
We welcome those of you who have been watching the Seahawks and the Dolphins. 4th down and 5 for Christian Ponder and the Minnesota Vikings as the pass is caught by the tight end John Carlson to keep this drive alive at the Bears 40. Chicago leads 28-10. 3.5 remaining. Bears coming into the game tied with Green Bay atop the NFC North. Vikings 1 game back. 1st and 10 from the 40 as Ponder hits Adrian Peterson, who gains 7 down to the 33.
And it's just such a difficult position to be in when you're trying to catch up to the Chicago Bears, because this defense is built around not allowing anybody to get beyond you. So in a 2-minute situation, down 18, it's going to be hard to get any type of big play.
Double pass, Peterson. Keep in mind, early in this 4th quarter, Vikings had an opportunity to kick a short field goal, which would have turned this into a 2-possession game. Elected to go for it on 4th down. Were not successful. So the deficit remained 18, and that is where we stand. Ponder again, looking for Carlson.
And he's had a couple of drops today, a couple of key drops. Christian Ponder has put the ball in positions for guys to make plays. And we've had a couple of situations like this. John Carlson is late getting that head around. The ball gets on him quick, and he can't make the catch.
Carlson only 5 receptions this season. Signed a big 5-year contract coming over from Seattle. Another 4th down situation for the Vikings, as we welcome those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa from Soldier Field in Chicago. It is Adrian Peterson trying to pick up the 1st down with 2.5 remaining.
Now, the way the officials came in, it looks like he could be a little bit short.
Yeah, he tried to stretch it out there at the end, but didn't quite make it to that 30-yard line right there.
Really has to get across the 30 on this. Brian Urlacher kind of setting that wall. He's well short. Julius Peppers down the bottom of the pile. Took a little bit too long to get Adrian Peterson rolling today, and you have to credit the Bears defense for a lot of that. They held him in check in the 1st half. Here in the 2nd half, he's been a factor. But it was a little bit too little too late. Kind of the perfect setup for the Chicago Bears. Played great complementary football, taking advantage of Minnesota mistakes.
Vikings 3 turnovers leading to 14 Chicago Bear points. A couple of rushing touchdowns for Michael Bush in the 1st half, and the Bears have lost 5 players due to injuries, including Devin Hester and Matt Forte. But they lead by 18, 2:28 remaining. As Cutler hands it off to Bush, Jay Cutler in his return missed the last 6 quarters. 2nd half against Houston. Entire game on Monday in San Francisco. Bears lost both games after starting the season 7-1, but in control today as they will raise their record to 8-3 with a victory over the Vikings. And then we'll watch as the Packers take on the Giants tonight. We have hit the 2-minute warning here in Chicago. Jay Cutler and the Chicago Bears back on track. as they lead the Vikings 28-10 with 2 minutes remaining. These teams will do it again 2 weeks from today in Minneapolis. Here's Bush. We head to Los Angeles for a game break with Patrick O'Neill. Patrick.
Thank you, Kenny. Coming up next, America's Game of the Week. Colin Kaepernick earned the start over Alex Smith. And Drew Brees, 28 touchdowns. Saints have won 5 of 6, a rematch of last year's NFC Divisional. Well, it certainly is the great debate. Kenny, Moose, and Goose. Who do you start, Kaepernick or Smith?
Well, we got a pretty good guy calling that game. I'm looking forward to hear what Troy Aikman has to say about that decision.
I don't know. Kaepernick's pretty hot from last week, Daryl.
Alex Smith.
Yeah.
I don't consider him to be a safe guy. I mean, we did that game, Tony. We did New Orleans, San Francisco last year. That was an outstanding performance by Alex Smith.
That was.
Well, the Chicago Bears certainly know what Colin Kaepernick can do. Here's Michael Bush. And Bush able to pick up a Bears first down. Kaepernick in his first start, 32-7 over the Bears on Monday, but a different story for the Bears today, led by the combination of Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall.
And not a whole lot of diva in this wide receivers game. I mean, he did all the dirty work this afternoon. He worked underneath in the deep end of the swimming pool, Tony, where all those big guys are, and he was outstanding. Great hand strength at the point of the catch. Antoine Winfield actually played him very well today, and he just made great catches in tight coverage.
Yeah, he can do a lot of things, man. He blocks pretty well, too.
Yes, he does. And yet, you know, the only thing, the deep ball would have given him awesome numbers today. He'd have been 13 catches, up around 145 yards if he pulled in that big shot on that last drive.
12 receptions today for Marshall. A couple of things, as you saw, first Bear since Marty Booker, and he's also the 5th player all time, 1,000 yards with 3 teams. Goose caught up with Brandon before the game.
I wish you would if I was guard. Boy, you wouldn't do that.
On the outside, on the outside. Oh, you said too far, man. Did you see that set you had? I'm by you. He didn't think I still had the little shake and bake, Moose.
That's a nice inside move, Tony.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I
don't remember that one from the repertoire.
It was there. It was just a little cloudy, a little dusty right now, but it's still in the box.
Would you like some oxygen, Goose?
Yes, please.
2nd and 9, it's Bush. Under a minute remaining. FC game break coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They'll have scores and highlights from around the league and get you ready for America's Game of the Week. Most of you will see the 49ers and the Saints. Great job by our entire crew here in Chicago, led by producer Barry Landis, director Brian Lilly, associate directors Eric Mandia and Joe Williams, broadcast associate Paul Marlborough, technical producer is Sid Drexler, technical director Chris Castro, pregame show produced by Bill Richards, directed by Bob Levy. With 20 seconds remaining, Bears will go to 8-3. Only the Falcons have more wins in the NFC. Big game tonight. Green Bay Packers, New York Giants. Bears win their 6th in a row over the Vikings and end their 2-game losing streak. Well, for Daryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa, Kenny Albert saying so long from Chicago.